Podcast time, cunts.
I'm back. My ear's repaired.
Ooh, I haven't actually asked. We've been sat here for like 40 odd minutes. I didn't ask how your ear roll is.
Yeah, it's better, thanks.
You said the other one was getting fucked up.
Yeah, the other one started and then just veered off into healthy again.
Decent.
Luckily. But yeah, that fucking chawed me. That did. I was knackered. It weren't happening. I couldn't even. I was getting all dizzy and unbalanced and shit.
Burst eardrum.
Burst eardrum, infection,
That's
in a
mental,
canal, out a canal, fucking all the infections.
Fucking hell, man.
I had toothache, neckache, jawache, fucking earache. I couldn't. My whole side of my face was fucked. I couldn't sleep on my side where it wasn't sore, because it just hurt.
Yeah.
And if I slept on the side where it was sore, it also just hurt.
Oh, that's nice.
So I was kind of just fucked. And whatever way I sat, my ear was leaking green stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
Mate,
fucking hell.
It's so honestly.
That's grim, you know.
It's brutal. It's a horrible experience.
But now we're here.
But I always suffer with ear infections in the winter. Here we are.
There we are, indeed.
I'm back, baby. I've learnt three things. First thing that's fucking blown my mind this week.
Go on.
And I can't get over it. I've had to make phone calls to people I haven't spoke to for a while and just ask this question as soon as they answer. What is a pickle?
It's a cucumber.
Yeah, I did not know that. It's
didn't know.
honestly blown my mind.
Yeah, you didn't know.
Nah, no
To be
idea.
fair, I think I only really know that through Steph eats quite a lot of pickles, and through like TikTok and shit. You know, when them big pickles are
Gherkins.
like the ones in like the plastic packet where they do like hot and spicy ones and shit. They're like big, mammoth fucking things. They were quite big for a time on TikTok. You didn't know?
No, I didn't. And the thing is, I fucking hate pickles, but I love cucumber.
Yeah.
I love onions, and I love pickled onions. So now I feel like I have to give pickles another go.
Yeah.
Because now
When's
I know
the
it's
last
cucumber.
time you had a pickle? Are you chatting you've had gherkins or you've had pickles?
Gherkins.
The little sliced ones or little gherkins?
No, the little sliced ones.
Ones,
little sliced ones in McDonald's are fucking disgusting.
Yeah. No, yeah. Pickles, like proper pickles, different kettle
I'm going to have
fish.
to give them a go because, like I say, now I know they're cucumbers. I've changed my mind on things.
Maybe I'd have to buy us, because I've been wanting to try them for a while, one of those big pickles that I was talking about. I'll get us each one of them and we can, but they got a shitload of juice.
Little food review. Cheeky.
Because they're mad crunchy, but they're just fucking mammoth.
Or second thing I learned was equally as mental. Like a Prayer from Madonna. Do you know what that song's about?
No.
Blowjobs.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm. When you call my name, it's like a little prayer. I'm down on my knees. I'm gonna take you there.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's mental though. Now it all makes sense. But I was like, what the fuck?
Sexy. Old Madonna.
Crazy.
And number 3?
Number 3, Kratos' first name.
Is it not Kratos?
Nah.
What is it?
John.
It's not.
Fucking
John Kratos. Hey, you are talking shit. That man right there.
What is Kratos' first name?
All right, I don't want to read it out now. Initially, the name John Kratos was nothing more than a joke shared on Twitter by the Guardian's gaming editor, Keza MacDonald, but as it is the case with so much internet content these days, it soon gained its own life force, eventually leading to PlayStation canonising the name. Fucking hell. John Kratos. Billy Bob Kratos. That's ridiculous.
John Kratos.
I
Ridiculous.
love it, though. Here's John. That's great. John Kratos.
John Kratos, the famous Greek warrior.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah, the God Slayer.
John.
I come home today and I did a poo. And
sounds like something we should be saving for the Patreon. But carry on.
Now these lot can hear it. It's only a quick one. It didn't hurt, but it was massive.
You about to show me a picture?
I'm about to show you a picture of my poo, right? Now I'm going to show you because this was Steph FaceTimed me, because what happened was I had this massive poo. And it was fantastic. I wiped my arse, and when I hit the flusher, only the toilet paper went. And there was 2 logs, and one was sitting out by about an inch, right?
You are the stinky log.
And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then I flushed it again, and still nothing. And then at this point, I FaceTimed Steph. I said, I haven't blocked the toilet, but the poo won't go. It's staying at attention. Flushed it again, and 1 log went. But then I flushed it. Basically, it wouldn't go down.
She's girthy, isn't
It's
she?
huge, isn't it?
She's girthy.
It was huge, but it finally went, and that was my interesting part of the week.
I'd rather not have seen that, but I can respect it.
Normally, we save that for the patrons. So that's what people are missing out if they haven't listened.
Nowhere near as big as Matt's.
Oh yeah, that fucking video. That thing's ginormous.
Yeah, he practically gave birth.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Gave birth to a stinky log.
I want. I sent you a video earlier from YouTube of the lore of World of Warcraft in 23 minutes, and I'm halfway through it, and it's a very quick, brief, informative video of the surrounding lore. And then you text me back saying that you've been playing a bit of Warcraft.
Didn't say that.
No, what did you say? Hold on. Oh, I don't want the fucking Play Store. Fuck off. I'd sent you the video, and then you sent me a GIF of a Muppet being rubbed
On his head.
And the Muppet looks absolutely off its face.
Because I just couldn't be bothered to search for anything, so I just scrolled through a few GIFs and thought that looks funny.
And then I said, why don't you support me? I'll show you nothing but love. And you said, well, I'll have you know, I was Warcrafting last night.
Correct.
Well, what was you doing?
I was Warcrafting. If you want to know what I was doing, I was up to an extremely late time because I've really struggled sleeping this week, being back to work. Not that I'm ever blessed with lay-ins as it is, but I don't know. I just struggled to sleep. First week back, and I was up till gone 1 o'clock last night watching Asmongold.
Oh, yeah.
Recap his first, like going through all his screenshots with some fucking powerful music in the background, and he's like really good speech flow that he has where he doesn't like stutter or say like or anything in between his words. Showing his first time through the Wrath of the Lich King.
Nice.
And his whole experience with it. And I was up and it was having the counter effect I needed it to have because I was getting gassed. And I was like, what happens next? What happens next? I was very excited. I saw a lot of people waiting outside a portal for this Wrath of the Lich King to start. And he was talking about how one of his guild members was doing first to 80 on the server or something.
Yeah.
And he was 79, and he asked Asmongold and a couple of the people to help him just get the last bit, and someone else beat him, but they'd kind of cheated their way by farming with a couple of other people to help him. I don't know what it was. They were just healing this geezer while he just mauled down things. But that's as far as I got. But I got about probably 15, 20 minutes in, and I want to watch the whole thing. And it was hyping me up. And as I was watching it, I was thinking, could I do it again? Could I do a third time lucky?
Wrath of the Lich King is renowned as one of the best it's a fan favourite for so many people, and it's very much up there for me.
Was that the first expansion?
No, that was the second.
Because he was saying the mount that he was on, that was the first time he'd ever been on the mount, and then he was on a dragon and he was flying, but it was like one of them on the rails dragons. So that was the first experience he'd ever had of being like in the air on a flying mount before. Obviously, then the flying mounts came.
Well, flying mounts come in Burning Crusade, which was the first expansion, but it was just so fucking expensive that no one, because obviously it's got its own gold economy, which now is fucking crazy. But back then, in like the vanilla days, it was just impossible to get gold. So having a mount was very fucking expensive, and then having like the fastest mount. And then in Burning Crusade, they released flying mounts. And again, they were just fucking mega money. So not a lot of people had them. And then in Wrath of the Lich King, what you had was, because it was a new expansion, the gold economy changed a little bit. shit was still expensive but become a bit cheaper, so it was much easier to obtain flying. So you had a lot of people who had played in Burning Crusade but never actually afforded flying, who were now able to fly in Wrath of the Lich King. And Wrath of the Lich King was fucking incredible. Absolutely incredible. The pre-launch for it, they did a little event, because obviously it's all about Death Knights and raising undead armies and shit like that.
Straight from the get-go, before I even knew anything about World of Warcraft, I'd heard of Wrath of the Lich King, like it was his own thing. And when you name things Wrath of the Lich King, Death Knights, I'm in. That's all I need. Cool names. Don't call them Ooga Booga the Warrior Man.
Yeah,
call them Death Knights and Lich King.
Yeah.
And all that. I'm in.
Lich King is was obviously like the main the lore and the storyline behind the Lich King is crazy. But the pre-release for it, the event, basically every city and everything, people were getting infected and turning into ghouls, so like zombies. But what it did is it gave you different abilities, and you could infect other normal players. So what you would then have is you'd fly into a zone, like a camp or whatever, and there would be one person that was infected. They've infected like a full-on plague. You'd end up with hordes of people that were infected and now turned into ghouls. They would then, and I also did it, you would go to your city, so like Orgrimmar is the Orc one, or like one of the main hubs, and you could fucking slaughter everyone in there, the war chief, the fucking guards, the whole shebang, because you were now this this ghoul thing. And it went on for a couple of weeks, and it was absolutely incredible. And then Wrath come out, and everyone was like, oh my god, this is crazy. What they've got now is World of Warcraft Classic, which is now the Burning Crusade, because they did the first expansion as Classic. They've now got World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King Classic. So it's how it was when it first came out, with a couple of quality of life tweaks. So you can actually play pretty much the OG Wrath of the Lich King, and that is like the end game content, so you can relive it.
Yeah. It won't have the same effect on me as it would someone who has that nostalgia hit, but
yeah,
obviously for Asmongold or however.
But Death Knights are crazy. They got 3 specs. They got a blood spec, which is your tanking spec, and your whole thing is around basically taking the blood from your enemies, and that is what heals you and keeps you going. You got a frost spec, which is used to be like dual wielded swords, and now it's more like 2-handed shit. But it is what it is, like frost moves and shit like that. You can summon a dragon that flies over your head and fucking freezes everyone.
Are there elf? Is there an elf race?
Yeah. Night elves or blood elves or fucking there's 2 others.
Wood elf?
No, void elf or another one, which is like a different sort of character model. But the 3rd spec of a Death Knight is unholy, and an unholy Death Knight basically has a zombie pet, and their whole thing is around infecting people and giving them diseases and making their blood burst out of them and summoning more like gargoyles and shit like that. They're very cool, but there's this, they all have this ability called Death Grip, where I think it's got like a 25-yard range. You basically like send out a hand that will choke them and then just drag them towards you.
Sounds like Darth Vader shit.
Yeah, it's very fucking cool.
Night elves, void elves, blood elves, and Nightborn.
That's the one, Nightborn. They're all very cool.
One of the reasons I was watching it is because, I was watching Asmongold. I watched a 30-minute video of him talking about how his mum died, which is very sad. But I understand his grief through my stepfather. So it was kind of, whilst it was a sad video, he deals with his emotions very well. He's not like just bawling. He's just
was he live streaming, or was it just a video that he
was just
recorded?
him talking, and he was in the garden. It was raining. Yeah, it was very therapeutic for some reason. Even though it's dark, it was like nice to hear someone else talk about it. If you know what I mean? Yeah. So I watched that, and then that kind of just led on to that video as I was looking through his channel and stuff. And it's because the adventures of Rain Dolo has been continuing.
It's gone back.
And as Rain Dolo's adventure continues and encompasses the finale, I feel Rain Dolo's journey doesn't end here. Where else could he possibly venture?
So you're thinking entire different universe in itself.
Rain Dolo is multiverse, mate.
Rain Dolo could be fucking multiverse.
So I'm thinking,
look,
could he walk into Asgaroth?
You mean Azeroth? Azeroth. Close enough.
And take the Lich King down.
There's a TikTok account that I'm following, and it's a husband and his wife, and he's been playing WoW for 18 years. And he's just introduced his wife to World of Warcraft, and he's doing like a daily update. They're basically doing like 3 or 4 hours a night playing it together, and he's saying how interesting it is because obviously he's a vet, he knows everything that's going on, but he's seeing it from the eyes of someone who's brand new. So with that, they're going to all like the starter zones and doing the tutorials and stuff like that. So he's seeing what a newbie would see and how the game works for someone that's brand new to it, and he's saying like, oh, Blizzard, it would be cool if you did this is really cool, I like that you do this, blah blah blah. But he's given us daily updates, and she's picked a night elf mage, and they've got a move called polymorph where you can turn anything into a sheep, and it will just stand like a crowd control. They'll just stand around for an hour, a minute.
One of my characters has that.
It's very cool. And he's like you could, it's like a journey that they're going on because they're now going through like their spell rotation, what talents they got to pick, what quests they want to do, and stuff like that. And it's very interesting to see that unfold, because basically anyone that plays WoW and has done for a while, we yearn for that nostalgia again. We want that back. Everyone who plays World of Warcraft wants to forget it so they can rediscover it, because it's a feeling that it's an addiction. Everyone wants to experience that again, and that is why things like WoW Classic and Season of Discovery and Hardcore and shit like that is so popular, because it throws you straight back into that nostalgia. But I think maybe when we played it, there was a touch of Destiny overwhelmingness, because there's a lot of shit going on. World of Warcraft, there's an absolute ton of shit going on, and it's both great and both bad at the same time, in that nothing matters until you're at Dragonflight. Until you're level 60 or level 50 and then going into 60, nothing matters. So you can do whatever the fuck you want as long as you level up or whatever. And even when you get to the end game, it doesn't really matter. You can still do what you want. But in that freedom, there's just so much shit. There's so much shit. It's incredible. There's 2 expansions I haven't even played because my computer was broken, or I just quit at the time. Warlords of Draenor and Legion, I did not play them. And Legion was meant to be possibly like overtake Wrath of the Lich King as the best expansion they've done. Didn't play either of them. And I don't level up in them when I make new characters either. So I got no fucking clue what happened around there. I got nothing to do with that. So there's shit that even I haven't touched. So like, I don't know, man. It's difficult. It's free until you're level 25, and even then it's free after. You ain't got you just can't really do much after that.
The trouble is, this guy and his wife, I imagine this guy is pretty understanding. And patient.
I've changed. I have changed.
You have not fucking
I have.
changed.
I promise you. I have.
You have not.
I have. No. I'm a changed man. You said I wouldn't do Days Gone. I did Days Gone. I'm reading books now. Lore books for World of Warcraft.
Oh, yeah.
I brought one to work the other day. I asked Mark. I read like fucking 50 pages. I was just sat there just reading books in the van.
Nice.
They're great because I don't like reading, but I've never read something that obviously I'm so attached to WoW. And now I'm reading something, so I know I can picture everything in my head what he's talking about, and I'm like, oh shit, I know that place, I know that, I know what he's talking about.
I'm reading a book. This is set in the Baldur's Gate universe currently. When I'm playing Cyberpunk, I was reading the Cyberpunk book, and The Witcher. I read the Witcher books because I am attached to it. Star Wars.
So much more interesting. I read
things that That's why I'm like, when you say do you read, people are like, nah, because their mind goes to, horrors and thrillers and shit. No, I read what I like. So
graphic novels and shit like
just
that.
things that I know or have an understanding of. It just enhances it. So where I'm like reading things in this book about Baldur's Gate, like it paints a different picture to Baldur's Gate, like the actual city of Baldur's Gate, what it looks like, and the Drow, the race of the Drow. I know what the Drow are. I know they live in the under. I can't remember what it's called now, but I've been there, so I know. I can visualize it in my head as well.
Yeah.
And it just, when you read things in the book that you know in the game, you're like, it's that.
Attaches you better,
Exactly.
builds more of a story.
That's why I like reading too.
Exactly what I'm rolling into. I think one of the downfalls for when we was playing WoW together, other than my poor attitude, which I might add, the second time round I had improved.
Much better.
And I have improved further since.
And then you shouted at me for doing something stupid.
I know, I've changed. I've changed my ways, I apologise.
I've never played it again after that.
I think one of the issues is, and Steph has the same issue, is neither are used to playing mouse and keyboard. It's a different beast. It's not fucking like hard graft, but it is different. It takes a lot of getting used to, and sometimes the positions that your hands are in and that specific movement, it starts to hurt a little bit. It starts to ache. For example, the way that I'm sitting, if after a long session my elbow kills because I'm like that, my elbow's leaning in, I need to put something on my armrest, and it hurts. So I was trying to explain to Steph the other day that there are many different things that you can do to make that easy for yourself. For example, the Razer mouse I use has all the buttons on the side, so you only have to use your left hand for WASD. The macros and the key bindings that you can change so that you don't have to do what I do, where you do like 1, 2, 3, 4 and then click the rest. You can change it all to fit you, and even down to things WoW's now integrated that you can completely change the UI. So where the nameplates are, your fucking action bars, the mini-map, everything is customizable, so you can move it all around. You never used to be able to do that. And one of the even better things is in, what's the date now? The 5th. On the 16th is a new patch that's coming out. And with it, they're introducing follower dungeons, which has basically been stolen from ESO.
I read about that the other day.
Yeah, so you'll be able to go into a dungeon on your own or with up to 4 people, because dungeons are 5-man. And if you're on your own, everything else will be AI. So, but you can pick whatever role you want to do. You can be a tank, you can try healing, whatever. So it affords you the time to get used to a role without someone screaming at you. And
it makes it more solo friendly.
Way more solo friendly. Because they also introduced a thing where with rares and stuff popping around the maps and shit, where they're like mini bosses, they introduced a thing where if you're on your own, it gives you a load of buffs to be able to do it on your own without needing a group of people to help you, so that solo players can do what they need to do. I play most of my shit solo. Other than raid nights with the guild, most of my shit that I do is on my own. But it's just a very, very overwhelming game, but I can't get the point across of how
much you want me.
Yeah, how in-depth and incredible that game is. I'm trying to get Steph involved with it. I sent her the same lore thing, because obviously she's tried to play it before, but she didn't really like how to play it, like with the mouse and keyboard. And like I tried to get my mate Brandon to do it, and I think he played a couple of, got up to like level 10 or something like that, and then I think his PC broke. But I'd said chances are you're not going to stick with it. He's very Call of Duty guru type. World of Warcraft is not his bank whatsoever, but he seemed alright with it. Obviously Connor tried to play it, got on well with it, but slinked off and moved house and shit, so there's other stuff. So I feel like I've got this little bit of knowledge where you said play God of War, it's fucking sick. And sure enough, I played God of War and it's amazing. Old John knows what he's doing. Right?
John.
You and fucking...
Great days.
You and Mark. Mainly Mark, because he's always going on about it. Days Gone. One of the best fucking games I've ever played. Really, genuinely, as far as zombie games go, other than The Last of Us, that is the best zombie apocalyptic game that there has ever been. There is no better than that.
Facts.
The fact that hasn't got a Days Gone 2 is fucking abominable. It's ridiculous. And why that isn't a thing is crazy. So, did you play any of the mini games on that as well?
I could platinumed it.
On the golf cart and shit like that.
Done everything, bro.
Hilarious.
Platinumed the fuck out of that game.
Fucking loved it. And I feel like people have given me these games and said how incredible they are, and I've finished them and gone, these are incredible. That I've got this absolute time sink of a game that I feel is incredible, and there's so few people that I'm able to share that with that stick with it.
I have many problems with World of Warcraft, and my number one, which I know you hate, is if it was console, it might be all encompassing for me. It might be all I'd just be in, you know. But the laptop is uncomfortable for me. I'm not used to it, and I always have this weird, overwhelming anxiety about playing games on a laptop that I think it's because I've had so many really shit laptops in the past that when this laptop breaks, I'm fucked because I can't go out. If I just play World of Warcraft forever, and because that's the kind of game that it is, and you're just there, and that's the only game that you really care about, and you might dip into other things, and then it breaks. I'm never going to be in a position to just be like, well, I'll just replace that, and that will kill me. If that's the only game that I play, and my laptop dies, then I'm like, fuck.
The system requirements for it now, they were never that high to begin with, and they're still not crazy. You can play it on a fucking microwave if you really wanted to. Like, it's really not too bad. Plus that laptop that you've got, as long as you leave the fucking thing plugged in because the battery's shit, that there's nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? It's
yeah, this is my own weird head, the way it works.
Yeah,
I'm just
like, but I know exactly what you mean, because when I first got this and I started playing AAA games on it, I was like, there's no way that this can handle this. And it does absolutely fine. That I was like, this is going to blow up. There is no fucking way that this can do this. And I feel the same, because when this breaks, it's very expensive. And because it's a laptop, there's only minimal things that you can do. You can't rip loads of bits out and fucking replace them. You can, but it's fucking so much more difficult. But with WoW, you can. They've made it a lot more simple to set up a controller to play it. I've never done it personally, but there's a shit ton of guides, and a lot of people say that it is very easy, because I see a lot of people playing it on Steam Deck and they use it for leveling, and there's people that are doing Mythic Pluses and raids with it. And I'm like, how the fuck are you doing that? So you can set up a controller with it. I just don't know how it is that you do it, because you have to obviously macro, you have to sort out all the buttons, but plenty of people do it. It's just not something that I can impart wisdom on, because I'm used to keyboard and mouse. Your chair's also a massive factor as well. We've all had a shitty chair that we've sat in for whether you're playing on Xbox, PlayStation, whatever, and after a while shit gets uncomfortable. It starts to hurt.
There's just nowhere really for me to sit. We haven't got a table no more. It's the sofa and the armrest, but then I've got to try and use the mouse somewhere. So I have to have like the small armrest for the mouse, which isn't a lot of room. There's just literally nowhere for me. But I made it work, and I have made it work when I was playing SWOTOR and all that sort of stuff. Because
you can always get like a tray thing, can't you?
Yeah.
And have something.
There's plenty of ways to make it work.
There's a geezer who plays it all with a trackpad. Like, he doesn't use a mouse.
Fuck that.
And he's crazy. Like, he's really fucking good. But it's like, how the fuck do you do that?
Them pads on the laptops are rubbish.
Yeah, they're shit.
They're terrible.
So it's like, how are you doing that? I don't get it.
No, fuck that. I think Rain Dolo's journey will continue, and it will venture into Azeroth.
I think there's a whole world there that
I just like loot. So if I'm like, oh, you come on, and I'm like, oh, I found the breastplate of Nazaroth, and you're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, and you're like, oh, that's amazing. I'll be like, yeah, I got that.
There's loads of shit, man.
Yeah,
one of my favourite bits is the transmogs, the different gear that you're able to get and collect the appearance of. Like I say, we
got that sick mount for Diablo, didn't I?
Yeah, we didn't even scratch the surface, really. No, but I don't even think we got out of the fucking...
The biggest trouble is, right, if I loaded that up now...
Yeah.
One, I can't remember what my character's called, which will annoy me, because now I'm going to have to create Rain. I don't want to start that tutorial thing for the third time. But I am lost. You weren't on. I remember I just got on a boat somewhere, went to another place, started an expansion. I was leveling, I was doing missions, I was following the story. I wasn't really listening, but I was doing shit. And now I have no idea how to find my way back. It's just complete. It's the whole world is so big. I can't even work out how to get back to where I was.
What they did is they level balanced everything. So regardless of what level, because it used to be a zonal thing. You say, imagine you have a bog standard map with 4 zones on it. Top left might be level 1 to 10. Top right, fucking 10 to 20, and so on. So if you're level 5, you ain't going bottom right because there's level 50s there. You're gonna get fucked up. A while ago, they changed that. So regardless of what level you are, you can fucking bop around wherever you want. And that was the same with the quests as well. So like I say, the fact that nothing matters until you hit the end game areas, it doesn't matter what you do, but I get your frustration if you're in the middle of doing a campaign, a story or whatever, and then you lose your way. There are a lot of places. Mate, I still don't know my way around half of these places.
We could, theoretically.
Yeah.
I could create rain.
You could.
Didn't I? I bought the Dragonflight shit, didn't I, as well?
Yeah.
What a knobber.
Because you don't have to do when you made a character and we started, obviously it put you in the tutorial zone. I'm pretty sure now that you've done it, I don't think you would need to do the tutorial zone again. You can opt to go into that character's starting zone, which is completely different to
because that doing that fucking shit, running up and down, all that crap, killing them fucking ogres again. I can't handle
the
that.
tutorial is very good for. So if I make an alt character, I use the tutorial because it's the quickest way to get to level 10, get out of there, and then you can pick what zone you want to level in and blah blah blah. But
we could do this fucking Legion thing expansion that you've never done
if we really wanted to.
Well,
thing with Legion is that it has a class legendary campaign thing. For someone brand new, I wouldn't recommend it.
Well, you can carry me though.
I think it phases you out because it's specific to your character, and it's very like the main aspect of Legion. So in other words, I wouldn't be able to fucking be with you to do half of it. We'd be doing it as a parallel next to each other.
Right.
We'd pick a different expansion because the beauty of it is that you don't fucking know any of them. Do Wrath of the Lich King if you really wanted to.
What one was we doing, man? We was doing one where there was I swear there was zombies running around.
I think we might have been doing the Burning Crusade.
We were doing something. I was going in houses.
Oh no, yeah, we was doing Wrath of the Lich King.
There was fucking things sprinting around.
Yeah, we was doing Wrath of the Lich King.
I remember that. Yeah, well, I need to finish Rain's journey first. He's travelled to Sanctuary and slaughtered all the vampires in Diablo.
Mm-hmm.
So he's done that. He's completed Diablo.
That one's done.
He just needs to finish his toxic journey that he's taken, and now he looks very squiddy.
Very squiddy.
But he's a good guy. He's taken on this horrible ability.
Have you not got a picture of him?
No, he looks like he's just got ink all over his face at the moment.
Yeah, you'd have to take a picture when you get home.
But when I go on like the screen for upgrading these dark powers, it says part Illithid. So I like to say I'm not going to look at you because I know you know a lot of shit, but I imagine that.
So why you not give me eye contact?
Eventually it will say full Illithid and I'm going to be a Squidward. But in his story, he's a good guy. He's made some questionable decisions, but he's only done this for the good of humanity because it gives him crazy power to take on the big bads. So, he's not actually a bad guy. I want to finish that story. How's Steph getting on with Baldur's Gate? Has she jacked it in?
She hasn't jacked it in. She just hasn't played it for a while. She's been busy. I keep trying to edge her over, going, that Steam Deck's still there. You can play it. Oh, you can play it. And she goes, yeah, I know. She loaded into ESO yesterday to check out how many crowns she had because I've completely forgot that we were both still paying for it.
ESO Plus?
Yeah. So I logged in, had quite a few crowns, just spent it all on crates. Got fuck all.
Just loot boxes, fuck it.
Yeah, spent it on loot boxes and went, right, that's good. Cancel the sub. Won't log into that again for a while.
Have you heard about StarCitizen?
What, as in general? Or
well, yeah, and you know what StarCitizen is, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard of their latest drop?
No.
Okay.
This is the game that's been in development for about fucking 30 years, and then everything costs a couple of $100,000. You can buy a ship for like 10 grand and shit like that.
StarCitizen has released a ship bundle.
There we go.
For $48,000.
Of course it has. Of course it fucking has. Yeah, great. Decent.
Yeah, the Legatus 2,953 pack will arrive in the first quarter of 2024 and cost $48,000, despite the game not even having officially launched yet.
Bro, it's fucking ridiculous. I don't understand how...
You're comprised of 175 vessels from every manufacturer of note. This perfect collection includes all ships released and concepted through 2953, empowers every fleet commander to forge a lasting legacy, leading humanity towards a brighter future. The funny thing about this is you can only buy this bundle if you're part of the StarCitizen Chairman's Club.
Of course.
To get into the Chairman's Club,
how much?
It's players that have spent over $1,000 on the game.
Of course it is.
So technically it's 49,000. Now, I read that earlier and I was like, I couldn't get my head around it. And then I thought, I know, because I've heard in the past that people spend thousands of pounds on ships and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And how do they get away with it? Because if any other game that I know of in the whole world released anything even remotely 1% of that, there'd be uproar. If Call of Duty released a skin in the store or a bundle that cost £1,000, people would go fucking booloo.
I think because it's not a mainstream game, is it? And it's not technically fucking released. So it's like, well, you're not cornering a market on that one, are you? You've made a random fucking game that still hasn't released yet. It looks good, but I don't really know what the fucking premise is. Kind of like Starfield mixed in with No Man's Sky, like survival type. It's very in depth, I know that. And you need a fucking NASA computer to run it properly. It's very fucking heavy on requirements. You need some big boy shit. But yeah, maybe that. Also, who's buying it?
Someone is.
Some cunt's gonna drop fucking 48 grand on that. It's mental. It's absolutely mental. But I don't know how, because I follow StarCitizen on TikTok. They're called Citizen Talk, and they always like do their announcements and shit like that on that. And every single video I see, there's people commenting on it, going, "How has this not got a release date yet? We got GTA 6 announcement before StarCitizen and shit like that." And when the fuck did it first?
They've raised over $500 million on this game.
StarCitizen.
600 million they've raised, something like that. And
it has 2 subscription tiers as well, so you got to sub to it.
Can you just think for a second? They're releasing bundles, right? That cost, I'd pay a big chunk of my fucking mortgage off for that money, right? They're releasing bundles that cost almost $50,000.
Yeah.
And it's not a released product. How is that like industry standard allowed? How is that even legal?
So think they can do that. You spend 50 grand on a ship. There you go. Nice one, mate. You can play with the other 5 people playing this. It's not even released yet. Still in development. They pull the plug. See you later.
Server's gone.
Your ship's gone. You go, well, you stolen my property. You go, no, I haven't. You never had any property. Didn't exist.
This is what I don't understand.
This game weren't a thing.
This game doesn't exist. So how can you be charging or offering services like this when your resources should solely be on getting this product to market?
2027 is when they reckon that it will release.
But they've been pushing that back for years, though, haven't they?
Well, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely incredible.
We're closer to the year 2040 than we are to the year 2014.
Made by Cloud Imperium Games.
It looks like a very cool game, but I don't really understand what the fuck it is. I've watched videos of it before and it looks cool, but I don't know what the game is.
StarCitizen was officially announced on October 10th, 2012, during which the website they had built for the campaign crashed following the GDC presentation. The company announced a Kickstarter campaign on October the 18th, 2012.
It's been in development for 12 years.
Someone said, is Star Citizen ever going to be done? Star Citizen is in alpha. This was from the 9th of May 2023, and it's likely to remain that way for some time. It's already been 10 years, in fact. While the game is already in a very playable state, this game is also very incomplete. And $644 million in crowdfunding.
It's insane.
Raised $104 million last year alone.
It's just insanity.
That's absolutely mental. After the initial Kickstarter ended, Cloud Imperium Games continued to raise funds through the sale of ships and other in-game content. See, that's what I don't like as well. So they did a Kickstarter, so they would have had a goal. We need X amount to do this game. They then completed that Kickstarter and then carried on rinsing people for money. I was like, well, that's not how it works. That's not how Kickstarters work.
They obviously smashed the goal and realised, hold on, we can get a lot more here.
And is now noted for being the highest funded crowd-funded video game and one of the highest funded crowdfunding projects overall. Having raised over blah, 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 blah.
They need to be careful because they could easily slip themselves into getting sued, because if something goes wrong here, they're in big trouble if they don't release this product after raising fucking $500 million.
Pledges, in brackets ships, are permanently attached to the account. Indeed, they just make you wait a week to get it back if it gets destroyed in-game.
Well, imagine if I shot your ship in that.
Which is why you should always buy a whole lot more than one ship. So I've spent 48 grand on a ship. The wife's left me. My family is no more. The kids are gone. That little nest egg that we had for fucking university fund for the children has gone on this ship, right? I've logged in alone, beans on toast, empty fucking heart, but I've got Star Citizen. I've logged in. I finally get to play on my 48 grand's worth of a ship. Was it worth it? I've lost my whole family over this. Anyway, I'm in the cockpit. I set off. Boom. Someone's just fucking blown my ship up. Missile. You've come out of nowhere with your 48 grand ship and you've just blown mine up. I've now got to sit there and wait a week for it to come back.
My ship's not worth nothing. I'm using starter ship still.
Yeah, you're using bog standard ship. You're not even in a ship. You're just floating around. You've just got a fucking bazooka. You've blown me up. My ship is now gone. I've got to wait a week for it to come back. 48 grand, well spent.
To be fair, it sounds like I'm defending them. Obviously, I'm not. You do get like
come with every other ship,
56 ships.
Every single ship.
But nevertheless, I don't care. Like, if I was going to spend 50 grand on a game, I'd want fucking. I'd want stock. I'd want a fucking stake in that company. I mean, I wouldn't want some fucking.
But listen to this bollocks.
FIFA packs.
Currently, this is almost $750 million. Currently, there are no other species in Star Citizen aside from humans.
Of course.
However, with the release of Squadron 42 right around the corner, that may be changing. The main enemy is the upcoming title. In the upcoming title will be the Baldur, as they are ruthless killers known for disturbing the peace among the UEE. That was their single-player mode, I think. Ships in Star Citizen may be purchased either with real cash or in-game currency. Ships purchased with cash are called pledges and are permanently attached to your Star Citizen account. These purchases help fund the development of Star Citizen and Squadron 42. Lifetime insurance replaces your ship hull in the event of destruction or theft. Hull is replaced with an identical model in equivalent condition, effective indefinitely with no additional in-game fee. Standard hull insurance. So you have to insure your ships as well. It's ridiculous. It's so crazy, isn't it?
It's mental. I don't understand how they get away with it.
It is important to remember that rented vehicles will lose its customized components, and the components are lost permanently if the ship is destroyed or retrieved at a new location. Fuck me. Is it beginner friendly? Initially, there's a lot to take in, but don't worry, there's no right or wrong way to play Star Citizen. So in other words, it's got no fucking thing. I really need a wee. So I'm going to do that.
Do it.
And we are back from our jolly adventures. So yeah, StarCitizen, not something that I'm going to be bothered with. I'll wait for Light No Fire, please.
Yeah, that one. No Man's Sky.
Had you
baby.
fucking forgotten about that for a minute?
Nah, I keep seeing adverts for it. I don't know why they're putting so many adverts out for it when they haven't released date, which leads me to believe that it's coming. Okay, so what we got here?
Go on. What's up?
Level 40, new runes, new PvP event, Gnormiragun raid, Cataclysm Classic Beta.
What are you looking at the roadmap for?
Self-found mode, Season of Discovery, level 50, new runes, new raid.
Yeah.
Cataclysm Classic, pre-patch event, Worgen and Goblins, improved guild features, account-wide collections, transmog, campaign story, 4 raids, 7 dungeons, 2 heroic dungeons, PvP battleground, Dark Moon Island. What is all this stuff?
It's the roadmap for...
Yeah, but is this all classic?
Let me see the picture that you're looking at.
It says World of Warcraft Classic. So.
Yeah, but let me see the picture.
Oh!
No. I didn't want that one. No, it's... So, you've got... 2024... Ruby Sanctum, so the next raid for Wrath of the Lich King Classic, because obviously there's multiple raids in every expansion. And then Season of Discovery, which is that one that I was telling you about where you can go and get different abilities from different classes and mix and match and shit like that. They're increasing the level cap. Self-found mode for hardcore, I'm not 100% sure what that is. I would imagine you can find your body again and pick your shit up, but you can't resurrect yourself, maybe, which kind of makes sense. Yeah, this is all Season of Discovery. And
what is coming out for the actual game, though? Not old stuff redone. What's new? Do you know what I mean? What's not WoW Classic? What's just the good shit?
So you've got... Let's have a look. So Seeds of Renewal is the next patch, which is coming out on the 16th, which is the one I just spoke to you about.
What's the next expansion called?
The War Within. And
I'm fucking there. Day one.
So you have the War Within Alpha starts after this patch. And then you've got Season 4, which is when they revised the raids that are currently in the final expansion. Then Dark Heart, I don't really know what any of that is, but it looks like new shit. The War Within pre-patch, which is 11.0.1 patch. World Events, Warbands, Dynamic, Flight, and then Guild updates. The War Within itself, and then content updates. But it doesn't give you release dates. This is just what's happening in 2024. I don't know when the War Within, probably third quarter of this year, maybe like around September. I suppose that's fourth quarter.
When I get in, I'm going to get the laptop out. I'm going to update World of Warcraft, and I'm going to see where the night takes me. Do my fingers go to Baldur's Gate, or do they take me to the Wrath of the Warcraft?
You have to sit down and think what it is that you want. I can help you with this. We don't want to go healer or tank. We don't want to do that. Number one, you can't do the stress of being a healer. Most people can't.
Listen. I am not no pussy healer bitch.
Doesn't matter.
Number 2, I ain't standing on the front line because I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
Number 3, Rain Dolo is just a savage.
All right. We got about 10 minutes left of this podcast, this episode. Rain Dolo in his Diablo state was
a slaughterer of vampires. He was a rogue.
He was a rogue, almost berserker-like rogue. Side note, me and Steph are watching Vikings and we've got to the bit that everyone hates. Yeah, and now we're continuing on, which is We're very close to the point where I stopped watching, but I can't remember exactly where it is.
Floki, the boat builder.
So it's all very exciting.
Ragnar.
So he was the rogue. Okay.
He was the rogue.
Now, Rain Dolo in Baldur's Gate sounds like a very different beast to me.
He is a sword-wielding, crossbow-wielding maniac.
Sword-wielding, crossbow-wielding
But he's a nice
maniac.
guy. He only loses it when he needs to. In combat, he's savage, but in day-to-day business, he's just a geezer, He's just floating about.
So we enter the world of Azeroth and its many other continents.
I don't like big swords.
We don't like big swords.
He's got a big sword in Baldur's Gate at the moment because it's the best sword he's got.
You don't like big swords?
I like just one-handed swords.
Okay, so that is warrior out of the question. That is paladin out. That is Death Knight probably out because they use two-handers. But Frost Death Knight could use a dual wield, but they don't really. So you have something like Rogue, Stealth in the shadows. They got three specs.
I can go invisible.
Yeah, rogues will go invisible.
Mm-hmm.
You got subtlety, assassination, and combat. Now, combat rogue is like your buccaneer pirate type. Rather than daggers, they do like maces and swords and shit like that. They're quite up in your face. I'm gonna fuck you up. They have an ability called Killing Spree, which teleports you to various different enemies, and you just fucking slash them while you're teleporting around. It's very fun to use. Your assassination is all poison-based stuff, daggers, fucking in the night.
He's been known to dabble in the poison.
So he's all poison-based.
Complete poison build on Diablo, and I mean, just to look at him in Baldur's Gate, you would be poisoned.
So assassination is all about poisons and poisoning your enemies and you utilising that. And then subtlety is a mixture of the two in that you are very cloak and dagger and you can teleport round to people. It's called shadow stepping. You're very movement based.
I have an ability called Misty Step.
So, and then
I can also transform into a beast.
Okay, so Worgens transform into.
Is that not what I am now?
I believe it is. Yeah, it's a wolf in it. It's
can
human.
Can I change my name?
You'd have to pay to
How
change
much?
your name. Probably not worth it. You're probably better off just making a new character because we are not that far in. So, Rogue sounds like a cool fit.
I think Rogue would be my go-to.
Rogue is a cool fit. There's also other classes there. There's a...
But what would that make me? A damage dealer?
Yeah. I'm only going through damage dealers
But that's
here.
worrying because then people are looking at your numbers going, fucking hell, boy. You ain't rotating properly. That's embarrassing.
Probably, but it depends where you get what key you're going to.
Because I'm not good.
If you're in end game content, that is when people might look at your damage. However, it depends what you're doing. If you're doing Mythic Plus, which is like the hardcore mode for dungeons, and it goes up in difficulty, if you're getting into the mid to high difficulties, people are going to look at your damage, and they're going to know if you're shit or not, and they're not going to want you. The lower down stuff, people don't give a fuck because you're lower down. It don't matter. But we ain't even anywhere near that, so you don't have to worry about...
Will you defend my honour?
Of course
Like,
I will.
Oi, leave me alone.
Of course I will. Tell them to fuck off. It's absolutely fine. So, you've also got a class called a shaman. And...
I'm out.
You ain't listened yet.
Yeah, but I don't fuck with all that.
No, you ain't listened.
I don't need to.
No,
you know that grove that Steph went to in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Slaughtered them all the shamans. I don't fuck with animal raising beasts. I don't summon things. I'm just a fucking geezer.
You ain't listened though.
Go on then, hit me.
Right. So they got 2 DPS specs, damage dealer specs. You got elemental, which is not you. That's a ranged. Lots of fucking like lightning strikes and shit.
No,
not
thanks.
your thing.
I'm out.
Enhancement, right? Now they specialise in dual wielding one-handed weapons, right? Mainly maces.
Right.
I'm talking their abilities.
Swords or not?
They can't have swords.
Not interested.
But there's some extremely cool maces and fist weapons. Let me get the point across. All right. Now what they do is have a tendency to set people on fire and then continually bash the shit out of them with great old fucking lightning strikes from their weapons, like Thor, basically, what they can also do is summon spirit wolves. Wolves that will attack these enemies, right? You can not only do that, you can also turn yourself into a wolf called a ghost wolf to increase your movement speed and make you run around. It's very cool, and they're very fast-paced, just fucking constantly slaughtering fuckers. But you can't use swords.
That's the killer blow for me. I
So
only use swords.
You have demon hunters.
They're cool, but I mean that kind of fits. He's a bit of a Witcher kind of guy.
A demon hunter is, Illidan. He's not up there. You are not prepared. He's got the big old fucking horns with the wings and the war glaives. Nope, I'll show you.
What's he out of?
Well, the Warcraft. He was the main protagonist in Burning Crusade.
Oh, no.
He's extremely famous. Illidan Stormrage.
I remember seeing him. Is he the one that was on the dragon or something?
He's him.
Yeah, he looks cool.
Yeah, you can be one of them.
He looks like Mephisto out of Diablo.
You can be one of them. And they use swords and shit.
What's that? Rain's final form.
They use swords and shit, and they use these things called. You can use these things called war glaives that are like big, massive fucking
sticks with scythes on the end.
Pretty much, yeah. They look sick.
Well, they're glaives.
They look so fucking cool.
I'm just a one-handed sword kind of guy, and I know it's very niche. I don't like shields.
Well, if you're a one-handed sword kind of guy, Assassination Rogue isn't going to be for you because they use daggers. Their abilities require them to use daggers. But I suppose some of them do look like swords. Some of them can be quite big. Subtlety, again, uses daggers.
I don't mind using daggers. I just don't want to use...
So you're
maces.
probably going to be a rogue then.
Yeah, but he is essentially a rogue in every game that I've played. He's been in.
So you'll probably be a rogue.
He's a journeyman. He slaughters. He goes around and helps people and slaughters people. Makes
rogues deal in stunning enemies and taking advantage. They've got an ability called backstab.
Do you have to get behind them to stab them?
No. You used to have to. You used to have to. You in order to use backstab, is be behind them, but now you don't. It's not an issue.
Do you do more damage if you're behind them or anything like that?
I think there is a talent that you can spec into that increases your damage or backstab if you're behind.
If I have to keep getting behind people, I'm not interested.
No, you don't have to.
That's all right then. I think that's it. I think I'm sold on the rogue. So yeah, Rain will be created.
Well, there's a lot of other classes that we can flick through it. We can flick.
I can already anticipate it's going to go. I'm going to get shouted at because I can't work out Discord again. Why didn't you answer the phone after the third ring? Like, fucking hell, man. I'm learning.
But that's how you've only got to fucking load that up and then the ring comes.
Look, he's getting angry already.
I'm not getting angry.
Rubbing your head.
No, you've only got to open the fucking app and ding ding. We can figure this out. This is absolutely fine. We can do this.
One shout at me and I'm out.
I'm not going to shout.
I'm out.
I'm not going to shout. I'm not going to shout.
I don't know. What have I got, right? Because I know it's a subscription-based game.
Yes.
But I bought that Dragonflight shit. So what's that entitled me to? Just Dragonflight? Because I bought because it was on sale, wasn't it? So I got it like a Dragonflight plus something. But I can't remember what it was.
Probably like Game Time or some shit like that.
Maybe.
Which would have expired.
Right, so it doesn't count while you're playing, like...
Nah.
Right, okay.
No.
That's
30 days is 30 days.
That's right. Once again, I can start again, level up.
I just blew £100 on mine. I bought the fucking year sub.
Mm.
It's like 108 quid. Something.
I still get to keep my...
Your mount?
Yeah.
They're all account bound.
I'm going to get my Cerberus back.
Yeah,
and how you have to... Because I remember you were proud of me, weren't you? Because when you weren't on, I unlocked flying mounts all on my own. And I was flying. And I remember where I logged out, actually, just thinking about it. I logged out on the castle roof outside of the mount place. And I was just like looking about thinking, yeah, this is sick. I'm going to play this for ages. And I never played it again.
All of that is now free as well. You used to have to pay for the flying and shit to learn it. It's all completely free. So you just get it once you level up. It's level 10 for normal for 60%, 20 for 100% like ground mounts. And then 30 is flying at 150. And then 40 is flying at 310%. And yeah, you used to have to pay for them and now you don't. So it's all free shit. But yeah, Dragonflight. If you've got the latest expansion and you've got all of them, that's it. You just buy the latest one. That is it. But they don't like World of Warcraft isn't sold to a new person as World of Warcraft plus the expansion. You just buy Dragonflight, but then you need to buy the game time alongside it to be able to.
Yeah, but that's neither here nor there. You can pay like a tenner and dip in for a month. If you don't like it, dip out. It's like paying a tenner to play a game for a month. If you want to play it, ain't a fucking end of
Like I say, you can play it up to level 25 for free.
Well, I'm gonna.
They don't charge you anything.
Rain's going to have a little journey and see how he feels.
It just all it does is it locks you out of quite a few things in terms of does it lock you out of dungeons? I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'll have to Google it to figure out what it is that you can and can't do. But I feel that if we both go in with an open mind.
It's not me. It's you, bro.
No, it's you.
I'm open-minded. I was having a great time last time.
And I was proud of you, and I was egging you on, and then your ADHD kicked in, and you fucking slumped off to something else.
No, you shouted at me.
I didn't shout at you.
You did, because I died, and then I kept dying, and you was like, "What are you fucking doing?"
Oh yeah, I was fuming.
Yeah, exactly. And you was like, "Oh, fucking idiot, what are you doing?
Fucking playing this wrong, you silly cunt."
Exactly. So less of that and more like. All right, let's find out what you're doing wrong then. What moves are you using? And then I'll be like, okay, in this slot, I've got this. And you'll be like, yeah, so you should probably start with that attack, then this, rather than just going, you fucking silly cunt, well, you don't know what you're doing.
I'm going to pick one of the key roles to play, which will make our lives easier.
What do you mean? You're going to be
I'll be a tank. I'll be a tank. Right. I don't normally play tanks, but I'll make one because then that means if shit hits the fan, I can sort us out. We'll be all right. Mm-hmm. I promise you, and I promise the podcast.
We'll see next week, won't we? We'll see. We'll see where we're at next week. Ash didn't play it.
I won't scream. You also have fantastic internet now as well, so your updates should be. You'll have to update the laptop as well.
Yeah, it said that it should be updated because I put the laptop on, didn't I? Sent you my Steam review of the year. How many games?
Oh, was that from the laptop?
Yeah.
Yeah, but does it auto update?
Well, it was updating and it said to do this update, you need to turn the computer off.
Yeah.
And I turned the computer off, so.
Oh, okay.
Should be done.
Okay.
I was playing SWOTOR.
Oh, you're good then. All right. Yeah. Well, you just got to load up Battle.net.
I just need to update. WoW.
Is WoW still installed on it?
Well, I've never deleted it.
Oh, that's right then.
I don't know how to delete stuff, bro. Come on.
I feel like completely for a second there, I forgot that this is on a podcast. I feel like this was just a normal conversation. This is very exciting.
Listen, this is all down to you, mate. If you
no,
want,
it's down to you as well.
If you want me, then treat me right. If you want someone to be excited for WoW things and be in the game and be loving it, then treat me well. You treat me like shit and I'll leave you like the bitch you are, you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. Look after me and I'll look after you.
So, okay. That's fine.
Okay.
As long as we're on the realm Kazakh, which is where all of my stuff is, then we'll be absolutely fine.
As soon as I get on there, I'll Discord you up.
Yes.
And then you can talk me through it.
And we'll talk through it. And what will happen is Steph will get jealous and she will want to get involved.
Then we'll have a 3-man team straight away.
And then we'll get it all going in.
Job done. Then we'll get that little ginger ninja back involved. And we got a squad.
Yeah. He was playing as a tank, to be fair. I did say to him the other day, I said, when you coming back? And he's like, I'm not. All right, be fucking miserable at home then. Be lonely.
He will now.
That's absolutely fine. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. You
little ginger rat.
Yeah, you miserable fucking Warhammer man.
Little biscuit-based bitch.
Yeah.
And on that note, it's Patreon time.
Yes. So we'll talk more about you on there, Connor.
Right. See you later, everyone. Hooroo.
Hooroo.